residents of Miami-Dade, getting your COVID-19 vaccination is an important part. Help everyone stay safe as we continue to fight the spread. And we can protect those most vulnerable around us. With easy access to vaccination locations and the growing ability for more people to be protected, it's our best shot to keep moving forward. It's our best shot for a strong, healthy community. For more information, visit miamidade.gov/vaccine.
Good morning. If it's Tuesday and it's 11 a.m., it's time for the FIU Music Hour on WDNA. I'm your host, Jamie Owsley, and on the FIU Music Hour, we feature weekly live performances in the WDNA Jazz Gallery, featuring our students, faculty, and alumni from Florida International University School of Music. These weekly performances are free and open to the public and are a great opportunity for our FIU students. Musicians gain exposure to local and global audiences via WDNA's live broadcast in the video stream, and maybe you've seen or heard your son or daughter perform on WDNA. Well, please know that listener and viewer support powers this community service. Invest in WDNA to maintain opportunities for student musicians and performances and performers to come. So today, as you know, it's our fundraising drive here on WDNA, and we have, I think it's, 2 days to go, second to last day. On our program this morning, we have a $500 fundraising goal. So I'm really calling on all FIU students, faculty, parents, alumni to consider supporting this great station that really provides this wonderful service to our students. We've been doing this program, I think, at least has it been 2 years? So it's been really a wonderful thing for our students. So you can make your contribution at WDNA.org or by calling 305-662-8889. So this morning, we are pleased to welcome a great band called 5-String Klezmer Swing with Dr. Steffen Zeichner on the violin, Dr. Russ Spiegel on guitar, who you know is the host of this show usually, Dr. Benjamin Whitman on bass, and Flexter Henderson on the clarinet and cajon. 5-String Klezmer Swing provides their own engaging takes on traditional klezmer and Yiddish Jewish music, alongside lively swing and gypsy jazz repertoire and classic tunes from the Great American Songbook. So let's get started. I've been practicing my pronunciations. Let's see how I do. The first tune, which means happy feet, it's a little dance number called Fisslich, Fisslich. Yeah, guys, you're listening to Five-String Klezmer Swing. That's with Dr. Steffen Zeichner on the violin, Dr. Russ Spiegel on guitar, Dr. Benjamin Whitman on the bass, and Flexter Henderson on the clarinet and cajon. My goodness, there's a lot of doctors in this band. Steffen, tell us a little bit about this ensemble and the music that you play. How did you begin this band and start playing this music?
Absolutely. So I grew up playing the Suzuki violin method, and alongside of that, in my very first couple years of playing violin, I had a lot of exposure to klezmer music, which is kind of Jewish traditional dance music. And so it's kind of always been something that is very dear to my heart, because it's something I grew up doing when I first started playing my instrument. This group plays, we've been playing as five-string swing, playing Great American Songbook standards and gypsy jazz. And there is a lot of connection between the styles, to be honest, because a lot of that Eastern European feel comes from this European jazz, and that in turn comes from dance styles, especially some of these Jewish ones from Eastern Europe and all over that area. This music is also, like, as I said, it's all dances, really. It's all about the dance, and there are several that we're going to play that have titles that are not specific titles, but are just dance number one, dance number two. The other cool thing about these is that they are very much a oral tradition. We do not really have written versions of these or recorded versions of these, of course, prior to 1900. There's not much out there. So what we know and the tradition that we're playing in is really music that people have tried to keep alive just by playing it.
Yeah, and when you say they're dances, I mean, do they have, do some of the songs have come from more of a religious Jewish background, or are they more secular in nature?
They're mostly just secular.
Dances, okay,
Yeah.
great.
But they do talk about Jewish and Yiddish culture inside of words sometimes and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, that's great, and we have a lot of this culture down here, and I've heard some klezmer bands over the years, and you guys are definitely one of the best I've ever heard. And by the way, what is when you say 5-string swing? I know what that means because I can see you, and I know what violins are. But for those of you on the radio, why do you call yourself five-string swing?
Absolutely. Well, I play a little bit of an unusual instrument in that I play a 5-string violin, which is a violin shape and size, but with an additional C string on the bottom. So it's kind of like a viola plus a violin together. And I find that really useful in groups like this, especially because I can stay out of the way of other people as they're soloing, and I can also still comp and play accompaniment underneath.
Yeah, and when you play accompaniment, that's pretty interesting because usually we think of the violin as a solo or a melodic instrument, but a lot of times in this group, for example, when the clarinet's playing a solo, you're doing some type of accompaniment. What are you doing there?
Absolutely. So I'm playing chords. I'm playing harmonies underneath. This is one of the things also that I was exposed to at a very young age playing klezmer, was realizing, oh, I could play a third above, and it sounds kind of cool. One of the things with klezmer is that it is different from jazz in that it's not usually full-on improvised solos. It is mostly playing the melody over and over again with different ornamentation and different phrasing, even sometimes at the exact same time as other instruments. So it's definitely a fun thing to be able to work inside of harmony as a string player that maybe is more ideally played, or is more commonly played just as the melody instrument.
Mm. And that what you just said about soloing kind of around the melody and embellishing the melody, and also kind of two people maybe soloing at the same time, that reminds me of like Louis Armstrong and
very much
early
very
jazz.
New Orleans style. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, it's very cool.
And I think that's where a lot of those traditions also somewhat come from. There's a lot of connections between Black America and Yiddish Jewish America too.
Well, that's great. Well, listen, we're really glad to have you as on our faculty at FIU these days, where you're teaching jazz violin students, hopefully more.
Absolutely.
So how's it going at FIU, and what would you like to say to anybody that's interested in learning how to improvise on the violin?
Yeah, it's been really great. I've got a great student that's making big strides recently, especially, and I would love to have some more, if anybody is interested in groove-based world musics, anything where there's a little more of an improvisational element on the violin, I would love to work with you at FIU, and we are, I think, pretty sure the only school, certainly in South Florida, that has a jazz violin degree, right? And I think that it's something that is becoming a little more popular, and it's also very important because as a string player these days, you have to be very flexible. You have to be able to play a lot of different styles. You're most likely not going to just make a living winning that one orchestra position. And I play in orchestras. I'm concertmaster for the Alhambra Community Orchestra. I love that music as well, but having other skill sets really allows you to work.
Sure. Yeah, and there's a whole new generation of younger violinists on the scene that are really doing a lot of different types of things.
Absolutely.
And instruments that we typically associate with just strictly classical music are now improvising and producing music.
It's great to see. Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, what was the second song you played?
So the second song that we played is a tune called Yosel Yosel, or Joseph Joseph. That was by Kasman and Steinberg. And that one, in addition to another tune that we're going to play a little later on, are two of the very most famous Yiddish tunes played by jazz musicians.
Oh.
And the one later that we're going to play is Bei mir bist du schön, made famous by the Andrews Sisters and a lot of these things. And this tune was written in the 1920s.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to that. What are you going to play next?
We are going to go with a hora. So a hora is a type of Jewish dance, and this one is called Hoffman's hora.
All right. Well, you're listening to 5-string klezmer swing. All right. You're listening to 5-string klezmer swing on WDNA in the Jazz Gallery here. Please stick around, and we'll be back in a few minutes. But before that, I want to thank a few, we've had a few donors call in. So I want to thank Michael from Bay Harbor Islands. I want to thank Karen from Miami and Donna from South Miami. We've only got $202 left to go to reach our goal. So that's really awesome, guys. Let's show some Panther pride. So you FIU alumni and faculty and students, let's do our part. I've been a member here for a long time. It's a really an important service to give back to this community they're a community service who gives to us. So, yeah. All right, we'll be right back after these messages. Okay, welcome back to our show with five-string klezmer swing on the FIU Music Hour. Every Tuesday at 11 a.m., the FIU Music Hour brings you talents from across the music spectrum for your listening and viewing pleasure. And thanks to our video live stream, people can watch us all over the world. So whether you join us here live in the studio audience, listen on your radio, or online, this program is a free weekly live performance open to the public and a chance to see up-and-coming musicians, or established musicians in this case, in our community. Please make a contribution to support WDNA and Community Radio, home of the FIU Music Hour. Join as a new member with a gift of $60 or give the amount that works for you. You can donate at WDNA.org or by calling 305-662-8889. So our next piece, let me see if I've been practicing my pronunciation, Chosidol, with five-string klezmer swing. Hey, we've had some more donations. I want to say thank you to Zoe from Miami Beach. She donated online. We've only got $82 left to go. This is pretty exciting, guys. So thank you all for your donations. Please keep them coming in. This is the FIU Music Hour. Steffen, what's up next?
So that was Hoffman's Hora, and that one, by the way, is Romanian. It's always interesting to see where these melodies are coming from because they come from all over that area of Europe. The next tune that we're going to play is called Lebedik, which means lively. So it's a lively dance.
All right, Steffen, what do you have next?
All right, this is a beautiful tune, very much a part of American Yiddish music tradition called A Yiddish Mama.
Yeah, guys, bravo. That was beautiful. Really beautiful. I want to take a moment just to thank everyone who has donated. Vindya, thank you very much. I assume that's my colleague at FIU. Jeanette signed up to co-host a show. So, man, you guys are really reeling them in. We got to have you back all the time. All right. And then Keith and Pamela in Pembroke Pines. Thank you guys so much for your support. One of the things you don't know, unless you're here live, is not only is this program great for our performers, but we have all kinds of students that are helping to produce the show. We mention them at the end in the credits usually, but they're actually here running the show. It's really great. It's a class in our music business program, and it's also an internship possibility. And so it's really wonderful that our students, I can see them now, we have a director directing all the cameras, someone's running the cameras, we have people helping with the audio and all the lighting. So it's really a wonderful experience, like a real life experience for our students. And that's made possible by your contributions to WDNA and, supporting and do it during this hour to show your support of FIU, the Golden Panthers. We have volunteers waiting for your call. You can donate at wdna.org or call 305-662-8889. All right, Steffen, that was so beautiful. What's next?
All right, we have a little medley of Bulgars. Bulgars are, again, a type of dance. And each of these is from the area of Odessa. So we call them Odessa Bulgar. And in this case, we're going to call it Odessa Bulgar 1, 2, and 3.
All right. right, you're listening to Five String Klezmer Swing with. Let me just mention the guys in the band. It's Dr. Steffen Zeichner on violin, Dr. Russ Spiegel on guitar, Dr. Benjamin Whitman on bass, and Flexter Henderson on the clarinet and cajon. That was great, Steffen. What do you have for us next?
Thank you. I have a beautiful slow tune that I actually had a cassette tape that had this song on it, and I listened to it so many times before I went to bed. And it's a song called Oifen Pripachik, and it's a Yiddish tune about, and the words are all about the Jewish children learning their Aleph Bet by the fireplace, and it's a absolutely gorgeous melody.
All right, great. Thank you. Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. You weren't kidding. Yeah. Wow. What is that in an odd meter or?
It's interesting, right? It kind of moves.
Yeah.
I wrote it out in 3, but it absolutely could be felt. Da da 1 da 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 da. It's really beautiful.
Yeah. Great. All right. Do we have the next number, the one that you mentioned before, the very famous one?
Absolutely. So this is a tune that many people will recognize called Beimir Bist Du Shein. And as I mentioned, this band plays not just klezmer, but we also play a lot of swing and Great American Songbook. And this tune has definitely made its way into that Great American Songbook. So a lot of people know this as a swing jazz tune.
All right, great. You've been listening to Five-String Klezmer Swing on the FIU Music Hour on WDNA 88.9 FM with Dr. Steffen Zeichner on violin, Dr. Russ Spiegel on guitar, Dr. Benjamin Whitman on the bass, and Flexter Henderson on the clarinet and cajon. I've been your faculty host, Jamie Owsley, and along with our executive producer, Dr. Karen Fuller-Velos, I'd like to thank our crew of FIU graduate students, Samantha, Josephine, V, Gabriel, Jerry, Rudy, and Christian, and WDNA's sound and tech wizard, Alex Aldrich, and the staff of WDNA 88.9 FM for today's broadcast. If you'd like more information on all of our FIU music programs, make sure to call 305-348-2896, or simply like our Facebook or Instagram page to stay up to date with our upcoming performances. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure to join the FIU Music Hour for more great music every Tuesday at 11 noon. And thanks again to everyone who called in and donated to WDNA today, especially showing that Panther pride and supporting the FIU Music Hour and letting people know that this type of programming and service is important to you. You can go to WDNA.org or call 305-662-8889, and volunteers are standing by to take your call. Thanks again to our guests. So what's the last piece you'd like to perform for us to play us off, Steffen?
So we've got one more fun dance called Mazel Tov.
Mazel Tov.